Hi, thank you everyone for coming out today. My name is Michael with Indivisible Charlottesville. We're here obviously to talk about pipeline resistance and the tree stands that Minor and Red have participated in, and what the Northam administration and the Virginia State Police have done in order to remove them from these trees. And I'd just like to briefly introduce this rally by discussing where we're at. As some of you may have seen in the media, in the past month or so, Cape Town, South Africa became the first major city in the world to run out of water. They started rationing water, and it's created civil conflict there. As I'm sure people have also seen, Puerto Rico's electric grid is still not up. There have been huge mass protests and civil disobedience because of the lack of an electrical grid and austerity that the Puerto Rican government has tried to impose. One of the largest refugee camps in the world in Bangladesh, it is feared is going to be flooded because of massive monsoons, and there's no place for the refugees to go. And I just bring all these things up because these are the scenes of the climate crisis. The climate crisis is not something that's going to happen at a later date. It's not theoretical. We're living it every single day now. And we are on the precipice of one of the most dangerous moments in human history. And this is one of those moments where there's a clear moral choice. It is black or white. Are we going to stand up in resistance to the damage that the extractive fossil fuel economy is doing? Or are we going to play by the old playbook and allow climate crisis to threaten future generations and make this a world that doesn't have clean water and clean air? And the way the Northam administration and the Virginia State Police have acted against Red and Minor, I think is a display of enormous weakness. This is just two people sitting in trees in their own property, but they're terrified of it because they know what the moral choice is. They know how clear and obvious it is, and they've seen what happened at Standing Rock. They saw what happened with the Keystone Pipeline, and they know that if ordinary citizens start organizing and mobilizing and getting engaged, that they're going to lose. And they think that it's over because they think they can force them out before a larger movement starts to build. But they've made a miscalculation because we're not playing by the usual rules. This is just the beginning of a mass movement, and we're going to make it clear that any politician, whether it be Donald Trump, Ralph Northam, David Toscano, or Cree Deeds, if they support the extractive fossil fuel industry and refuse to commit to a renewable future and refuse to stand with Red and Minor and other people who are bearing moral witness to what the fossil fuel economy is doing, the second they make that decision to stand with the fossil fuel companies over people is the beginning of the end of their political careers. So, again, it's really heartening to see everyone out here. This is just the beginning. And I'm going to turn it over to Ken Horn, who will talk some more about the demands that Indivisible Charlottesville is making of Ralph Northam, and go from there. So thank you.
Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it so much. I am just going to read a letter that Indivisible Charlottesville and a number of other progressive organizations that I will list at the end have written to our governor, to Governor Northam. Dear Governor Northam, during your spring 2017 primary campaign, you committed that, if elected governor, you would direct Virginia's Department of Environmental Quality to conduct a full, on-the-ground, stream-by-stream analysis of the water impacts of the proposed Mountain Valley Pipeline and Atlantic Coast Pipeline. The undersigned groups insist that you honor that commitment as our elected governor. You have the power to require this analysis be conducted before any further construction of the pipelines takes place, and we call on you to use that power. Virginians need to know that these pipelines will not impact their water quality or destroy fragile ecosystems before they are built. You agree with this. You stated Monday, April 30th, 2018, we're using science. We're doing everything that we can to make this environmentally sound. But we do not have conclusive evidence of this yet. DEQ has been unable to supply records that would assure Virginians they are conducting thorough studies and taking appropriate action. As progressive groups representing thousands of members across Virginia, we stand with Red and Minor. We also stand We also stand with all the concerned citizens who have questioned the safety of these pipelines from the beginning, especially those speaking on behalf of communities directly in the pipeline's path. We join them in pointing out that the burden is on the companies constructing these pipelines to prove to Virginians that these pipelines are safe. We support their request for a stay of construction on both pipelines until the petitions for rehearing, including that of Senator Kane, are considered by FERC, and until the valid legal challenges to the permits for both pipelines have their day in court. Sir, it is time for you to honor the promises you made during your campaign. Your promises inspired grassroots activists across the Commonwealth to knock on doors, call voters, and work tirelessly to get you elected. It is their efforts and not donations from companies like Dominion Power that put you in office, and we hope that you will stand by your commitment. Now is the time to demand that the Department of Environmental Quality stop the pipeline construction until a complete and thorough stream-by-stream analysis has been completed. As a physician, the health and protection of all Virginians should be your top priority, including that of Red Terry and other property owners who have been tree sitting on their land. We call on you as our governor to honor the commitments that you have made to us. Respectfully, Indivisible Charlottesville, Indivisible Southside, Crozet Act, Charlottesville DSA, Indivisible Louisa, Together Seville, Women of the Fifth, Fakir Indivisible, Forward Fluvanna, and Water is Life, Protect It. Thank you. So we are very excited and honored, really, to have Red Terry and her daughter Minor here with us today. I believe it was only Saturday that they came down, just like a day or two ago, from separate tree sits that they were both doing on their land, and we are honored to invite them up now to hear a little bit directly from them. Thank you for being here.
Hi guys, I'm Minor. I was tree sit number 2. Thank you everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. It's good to know that there's a whole bunch of people that also feel the same way that we do, and I know a bunch of you would have loved to have been up in trees with us, and it would have been fantastic to have that solidarity. But here on the ground is also where it's great, and it's wonderful to see everybody. And again, we just need to continue to push our elected representatives to do the work that that needs to be done, the stream by stream analysis, the FERC rehearing, just any sort of work that shows how unnecessary and dangerous these pipelines are going to be. And I know you are all doing that work, and I appreciate it greatly. But I'm also going to bring up the person that you guys actually want to see, Red, who's the face of the revolution, and my mother.
I am Red, and I am not a public speaker. I do my best yelling from like 31 feet up, and most of it's not been pretty, okay? When the surveyors showed up and they talked about putting the pipeline in, I talked to the guy and I said, listen, we don't want this pipeline. And they're like, well, we're going to give you money. I said, you know, this mountain has been in this family for 7 generations. It's the most beautiful place in the world, and it's like my 4th child. So what kind of price do you ask for your 4th child? And I asked him that, and he said, oh, it's just woods and creeks, and it's a mountain. And I'm like, you're a dumb shit. You have no idea what this mountain is. And they're acting like I'm crazy. But no, I had to do something. They started tree cutting my neighbors. I said, this can't happen. So I went up in a tree, and I have some wonderful children who followed me up and said, Mom, you're not alone. So hopefully, I have insulted the hell out of Ralph Northam. I told him that I had to grow a set, and it's damn time he did too. Okay? I would appreciate that, you know. There is no need for this pipeline. It's all going for export. There should be no way in hell that they take people's lands for their profits. People that have worked all their lives to get where they've gotten, and somebody comes in and goes, oh, yeah, I can make money off of your hard work. You know, they can all go straight to hell. This is our land. We need to protect it, and our representatives need to step up to the plate and quit letting the gas and oil companies run the United States of America. It's supposed to be for the people, by the people, not for the profit.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Sorry.
You're showing us the way. You're showing us the way.
I'm Kay Ferguson. I've been working with an organization called Water is Life, Protect It, which represents over 40 environmental and arts organizations in Virginia working directly to stop the Mountain Valley and Atlantic Coast frack gas pipelines. These two pipelines together will more than double the greenhouse gas emissions for the state of Virginia. These two pipelines together represent a real threat to the drinking water of all Virginians and also the right of all Virginians to own their own land. These two pipelines, Atlantic Coast and Mountain Valley, will not be built.
Thank you all so much for being here, and keep fighting the pipelines.
Got an anti-corruption song.
Reap 'em in the valley, sow 'em on the mountain. Reap 'em in the valley, sow 'em on the mountain. Reap 'em in the valley, you're gonna reap just what you sow. If you've been standing, keep on standing. If you've been standing, keep on standing. If you've been standing, keep on standing. You're gonna reap just what you sow. If you've been voting, if you've been voting, keep on voting. If you've been voting, keep on voting. If you've been voting, keep on voting. You're gonna reap just what you sow. If you've been loving, if you've been loving, keep on loving. If you've been loving, keep on loving. If you've been loving, keep on loving. You're gonna reap just what you sow.
there's water on the mountain. There's water on the mountain. Drink it in the valley. Sorry. There's water on the mountain. Drink it in the valley. There's water on the mountain. Drink it in the valley. You're gonna reap just what you sow. One more time. Sow 'em on the mountain. Sow 'em on the mountain. Reap 'em in the valley. Sow 'em on the mountain. Reap 'em in the valley. Sow 'em on the mountain. Reap 'em in the valley. You're gonna reap just what you sow. You're gonna reap just what you sow.
I bought them, but I don't need to keep them.
Test, test, test. So I got a little song I'd like to sing too, and it goes like this. Virginia's being poisoned by Dominion all the livelong day. The Assembly's in the kitchen with Dominion just to sell our rights away. Can't you hear the Senate pleading? Dominion, give me more. Can't you hear those delegates bleating? Give me more than before. Dominion, won't you pay? Dominion, won't you pay? Dominion, won't you pay for all our suits and yachts? Dominion, won't you get? Ha! Dominion, won't you get a backroom suite deal? Corrupt ACP permit. Ralph Northam's in the kitchen with Dominion. Tom Farrell's back there feeding him some swill. DEQ and FERC have supported pollution. Now they've rubber stamped this pipeline bill. And politicians sing a fee to defy and diddle-I-yo, a fee to dance with Dominion I-yo. We want to line our pockets with Dominion, and to hell with the rights of you, Virginians.